Welcome back to You Asked For It, where you give us questions, whether you just ask us questions or send in questions.
You're looking at that one again.
Did I?
Yeah, you are right now.
Oh, I did when you pointed at it. Okay, thought I was looking here. Yeah, I'll turn my head a little more. Here we go. Let's start again. You're editing this anyway, right?
This is going to be in the video. This is the cold open.
Oh, it is?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Well, welcome to you.
Oh, my.
Welcome back to You Asked For It, where you send us in questions and we answer them to the best of our ability, whether it be opinions or facts. We have a question.
All facts.
Today's
today.
questions, it's all straight facts.
Yep.
Kevin's going to love this.
Okay.
Remove my glasses so I can read. With
Boy,
COVID,
getting old sounds fun.
Yeah, old is great. With COVID being all we hear about on the news and in the media, it seems like so many Christians are afraid of death. Why is that?
You have to ask him.
Well, thanks for joining us on today's episode.
I don't know.
That's
Sorry, first thing that came to my mind is,
to ask
if
them.
you're a Christian and you're afraid of dying, why?
That's the question.
That's the question. Why as a Christian would you be afraid of dying?
Okay.
Well,
I'll start then. Since it's way too just logical and cut and dried. Oh my gosh.
I don't know why somebody would be afraid.
Here's why I think Christians would be afraid of death. I've seen the same thing. I've wondered this even way back in spring of 2020. Like everybody's all up in arms. Oh my gosh, this fire is gonna kill everybody. Like, okay, I thought dying was winning.
Yeah.
When you're a Christian, I thought to live as Christ and to die as gain. But my assumption is, okay, these are not straight facts today. My assumption is two things. Number one, I think most Christians have not experienced God's presence. Most Christians, judgment call, are probably Christians by information only.
Sure.
Which you go to heaven when you die, like that's cool. But I think most people have not experienced the goodness of God's presence or have experienced his love in a personal way, have experienced his peace and security and all those different things. And they probably have a warped, twisted, or even just inaccurate view of who God is and what heaven is. And, well, I heard it's just going to be worship all the time, and I don't like singing at my church. And like, so like,
Right.
There's this misunderstanding or this lack of experiencing God that I think contributes. And then I would assume the second one is they just love this life too much.
Yeah, I think for me, when I've talked to people about it, because it breaks my heart to hear people say, that they're so afraid of COVID because they're afraid that they're going to die. I'm not. Like, I am excited. I'm looking forward to spending eternity with God. And for me, it's hard to understand where they're coming from. So I've asked them. And I want to be able to see my grandkids on earth. I want to be able to influence them and, be around for them. Well, that's great, but you could die in a car accident tomorrow or this afternoon, unfortunately, for, you that are worried about being there for later. So for me, I've just noticed people, they're, like you said, they like this life too much. And like, there's things that they haven't checked off their to-do list of what's going to happen while they're here on earth. Well, unfortunately, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So why are we so worried? And why are we isolating ourselves and not experiencing those things to check off of our to-do list before our days are numbered?
Well, the thing is with that way of thinking too, there's always going to be the next thing to check off the box. I checked it off, and now I've added. I've added one or two more things now on the bottom. It's like it never ends. So, I mean, if you are too attached to this life, yeah, I could see that totally.
I want to go to heaven someday, but I want to see the grandkids, or I want to travel the world, or, I just got to wait until I retire to enjoy these couple things. And like, man, this is so temporary. But
I want to follow you, but I got to go bury my dad. Oh.
So we don't want to bring scripture
No,
into this.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Don't bring that part up.
Well, hold up.
There's a couple more animals I need to shoot.
And I think the first...
No. Hey, I can do it. Heaven's shoot and release. So I'm fine with that.
Okay.
It just goes right through them. They drop and they come back to life.
Yeah, you get to measure the horns and then let them go.
Oh.
Yeah. Nice.
But you don't get them on the wall then.
Oh, yeah, but they're alive. Hey, I think I just wonder, why would a Christian be afraid to go to heaven? And obviously what you said is probably true. You just haven't experienced a touch of God's incredible glory or peace that draws us, that we want to spend time there. Mm-hmm. But even the intellectual Christian, the Bible tells us about heaven in such a way that we should want to go there. It comes down to a crisis of belief. Do we really believe what the Bible says? If we really believed what it says, we would all be givers. We'd give as much as we could. If we really believed what it said, we would all be anxious to go to heaven.
Many things. This could branch out into a lot more than the
other
question.
Things, hey, if we really believed what God told us about certain things, we would live different. And so it might go. But I think from a rational standpoint, it probably comes down to just this fear of the unknown. Mm-hmm. A lot of people might be, we're a fear of the unknown. But it's actually just this morning I was talking with some people, and something just came. They were talking about a couple of untimely deaths that just happened this week. And these group of people were talking about how tragic it was. And I just shared this. I feel like for a Christian, death is never tragic, ever. It may be inconvenient. If you die at too early, you want to be with your grandkids. It might cause an inconvenience. I will give you that. But for a Christian to die is never tragic. It's not tragic for the kids. It's not tragic for the spouse. It's not tragic. It's a rejoicing. What person?
It's graduation day, right? That's what you said.
I was just going to go into that. What person would tell a student, you can never graduate? You have to stay in school the rest of your life. You can never get a career, never have a family. No, you have to stay in school. You don't get to graduate. I mean, how much would we dislike people to say, nope, you got to stay in school. You don't get to graduate. This reward, this eternity, this thing that supposedly as Christians we're all working towards. This is something that I think is more of a culture. Mm-hmm. If we lived in 1500s as peasants, we'd be looking forward to dying every day. No,
32 was too long because of living conditions and disease and
where you have nothing. We have it so good in America. We have it so convenient and so easy and so nice that of course we don't want to leave this. It's very comfortable. Mm-hmm. But compared to heaven, this is not comfortable, but it's just a perspective thing. You say perspective all the time. Why would a Christian be afraid to die? Honestly, there's no good reason. There's just no good reason. It's possibly all these things we talked about. Fear of the unknown, or fear of the transition. It's not an unknown. Right. God tells us if we believe God, not experiencing his presence, probably you're right. I would agree with that. It's probably the biggest one, because I think if we've experienced God and his incredible glory and his peace, and to think that's going to be even more clear and more real.
How could you not want that?
How could you not look forward to that? Not being suicidal, like you were saying, Radine, that you're not afraid to die. Not suicidal, but certainly not doing everything we can, which I've asked for years, this question. When people ask me, hey, would you pray for my aunt so-and-so, first question always is, how old is she? That's my first question. Well, how old are they? Well, she's 98, and we just really want... When are you going to let people go? When are we going to be excited for... I was thinking about this the other day, and I didn't really want my dad to hear it, but I guess I don't care now. But my dad's in his mid-80s, and his health is okay, but I can see him struggling. He can't walk good. He can't do what he used to do. He had a lifestyle that he did physical stuff all the time, and now he can't. And he had a heart problem. He's in the hospital, and I was just kind of wishing and even talking to God that, what, wouldn't it be awesome if he could just go be with you? Would I miss him? Of course I would. But it's not selfish. It's not time to be selfish. Yeah. He is. I feel like sometimes we are living in a jail cell. We're living in a cell, and death reopens the door. We are no longer in bondage to our physical body.
This is all I know. This is all I've been. I'm scared of what's on the outside.
Comfortable in jail. I like jail.
I want other people to stay in jail with me.
Yeah, really, my dad is in his physical body is like a prison. He can't do what he wants. Why would I not want him to be set free?
Yep.
And it's not like you're a heartless person for saying that either. And I don't want anybody to get that opinion that we're like heartless people because we're okay with people dying. It's the opposite. We're excited for them to get to go be in heaven. We just need to make sure that we are doing our jobs and getting the word out there. The only way you're going to get there is through Jesus.
One of, I think this is like loosely related to the question, but one of the things that bothered me so much, it still continues, but real prevalent like the first 6 months of COVID, was the fear in Christians. And like, we are totally shooting ourselves in the foot with our witness to the world by the way we're responding in fear. Like, we should be a light to the world, this kind of salt of the, like, why in the world would we look and act and have the same fears that everybody? This could have been the greatest time for the church to shine and bring hope to the world. And on a large scale in Western Christianity, we just cowered back in fear. And like, man, that ain't right.
Yeah.
That ain't right. We probably did more to hurt the mission through our fear than we did to help people by not being around and not spreading the, like, okay, I have a whole opinion on that whole second half. We're not going to go there, but like, we don't need to sacrifice the first to do the second.
Right.
And I have concerns about the second.
You will know the answer to this, but the Roman government is what tried to stomp out Christianity in the first century, killed most of the apostles and that type of thing. 100 years later, a little more than that, the Roman government was a Christian government. Yep. Christianity was the religion of the country. What are one of the main things that caused that to happen?
Christians' attitude towards this life.
There's something specific.
Oh, I don't know what you're looking for specifically.
The plague, and people were dying of the plague. And Christians, everybody else ran for their lives. Christians stayed in.
Actually ran to help people and
ran into this sickness and disease that was killing everybody to minister to people. That was the impetus or the big movement that changed the whole Roman government into being Christian, where Christians weren't afraid of losing their own life. They were more motivated by helping others, even if it put their own life at risk. And boy, talk about the COVID thing. We see Christians running just like everybody else. And wow, it could have been a great opportunity.
Could have been. We missed it.
Yeah.
It could have been like 9/11, the firemen and the police and the
Running
first responders running into to pull people out and save them.
Instead, we bought into the lie. And
I remember when my grandma passed, the last time I saw her alive, we got there and I said, hey, how you doing? And she wasn't doing good. She was in the hospice. And she said something that has always stuck with me. She said, I'm tired. I just want to go home.
No, dang it. I want to see you
I want you here.
Screw you. What's better for you and what you want. It's all about me. And so I'm going to ask a bunch of people to pray that you stay around.
Yeah, and I thought, who am I to pray or have people pray that you stay around for me? I mean, that's so selfish. Yeah.
And it sounds cold, what I said earlier about it's never a tragedy, it's just inconvenient. And so many people may not understand that, but in a biblical perspective, it's just an inconvenience, And I know I've never experienced losing a child, or I'm not saying that that's not super painful. I can't even imagine. However, it's not as tragic. It's only tragic if we think this life is all there is. Then it's tragic.
Right. So now I have a follow-up question.
We already did one question.
Okay. Well, then tune in.
Next episode.
Okay.
Part 2.
what do you tell Christians that are absolutely in fear of dying? What do you tell them?
Get drunk.
Time with God.
There it is. There it is. We just had to get the tagline in.
People don't realize that fear is a sin.
Yeah.
I know it's not on our top 3 that we're really watching, but living in fear is
But technically it is.
It is a
It's not
sin.
trusting God, not
It's a
believing
sin
God.
directly against God.
Yeah.
It's saying, I don't believe you, God, and I don't trust what you said, and I don't believe what you said. And we are fear. Now, not that we're going to beat people up with that, but just in perspective, that's a pretty big sin to live in fear.
Yeah.
It really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Well, that was it for that one. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments section of this video or let us know on a Sunday. Go ahead and come on up to us. We're pretty sociable, I guess. We're approachable, most of us. Or you can...
Not me, I've been told.
Don't give Kevin a hug.
Yeah, and don't... Yeah, no hugs.
If you have a question, hug Kevin and whisper it into his ear. With just hot, steamy breath.
And he'll show you where Jesus is.
He'll send you to heaven.
Hope you're not afraid of dying.
All right. We'll see you next week.